And so now that you've gone back and forth for a few weeks, thinking you have the idea you want, throwing it away, starting again, going back to what you originally started with, deleting that, and then going back to it again, now you're ready to begin the brainstorming and really creating your concept. Now we're gonna mix the first two parts, which are your shooting space and your inspirations, and now combine those two. And you can really get as creative as you want at this stage. You can cut out pictures, you could put tape on the wall of where you want shelves to go, or even draw it out with a pen and pencil. What works best for me is to stand in the space and visualize, as if I was looking through the camera, what I want the shot to look like. And so what I did is I knew I wanted to have my desk set up in the center of the room at a 45-degree angle so that the walls behind me would create kind of a V shape. And this is gonna create a lot more depth versus just shooting against a flat blank wall. Now in this scenario, and very possibly the room that you're setting up, I don't have a lot of room in the background to create that physical depth. So that is the thought process on angling my orientation. And that is a perfect example of why this brainstorming and pre-production, pre-planning phase is so important. You want to maximize the strengths of your location and really do your best to use that big brain and really minimize your space's weaknesses. So once I determined my general location that I want it to be and which walls will be the background, that's when we want to set up our camera and do a test shot. So I'm typing away, right? Getting a lot of work done here. And what we're doing during this test shot is we're seeing if our ideas, right, that we've come up with so far are gonna actually translate to video. Because sometimes what you thought would look a certain way really is not gonna cut it. And then other times what you thought would just be like, I don't know about that, it can actually end up looking really good on camera. So I'm seeing how the framing looks, I'm looking at the space that I have, and I'm also envisioning what the shelves are gonna look like that I'm gonna add to the background. I originally was gonna have two of the same shelves with one on each wall behind me. After doing this test shot and looking back at it, I realized that having two identical shelves would be creating these two parallel lines and really not all that interesting to look at. So I actually decided to change it to a more rectangular shaped shelf and then a circular shaped one on the opposite wall. That update, which I'm so happy that I did, would not have happened without taking the time for this extra step.